A title appears, Performing Successful Case Reviews. A logo, NSVRC, National Sexual Violence Resource Center. A graphic appears. Kim Day, RN, Sane A, Sane P, Forensic Nursing Director, International Association of Forensic Nurses, Maryland.
Sexual assault response team case review is one of the kind of key pillars of a sexual assault response team. In the work that I do, I get questions, when should we start doing case review? And I think it's critical to actually build that process of reviewing the system and the response to the victim right away from the beginning.
Patricia Powers, JD, Attorney Advisor, Equitas, the prosecutor's resource on violence against women.
A successful case review occurs basically because of the commitment and the expertise of the members of the team. And it can't be emphasized enough that what brings members of a team together is the commitment to serve the survivor, to serve the victim. One of the aspects of determining when a case review should take place are basically what are the needs of the case. And again, bearing in mind, it isn't a case to a victim, but what are the needs that are being represented that require that kind of a response.
Kim Day.
SART case review of closed cases can be really helpful. It could be looking at a case that was before the SART, and you could look at the response that happened and what happened to that case. And you also can find some things that may still need to be addressed. And I'll give you a good example of that. Detroit did the Backlog Project. They looked at cases that had been or had not been through the criminal justice system. And it was through review of those old cases that they found that they were not able to access the exam records or the hospital records of when the victims had been treated. Some of those cases were very old, 20 years old. By that, they were able to identify that one of the issues may be in a sexual assault case may be that the medical records are no longer accessible to be used in a case. And in states, that can vary all over. But think about that. If you have a child that's been sexually assaulted and they have 18 years to grow and determine whether or not the case they want to actually institute a criminal justice response, they may no longer have access to those records. So I think it really is a critical thing to include those closed cases and even those old cases as a review piece. And it's a great opportunity to practice before you start getting active cases and determine what kind of process do we want to use. And sometimes when you look at those cases, you can see patterns that you did not see when you were on the ground and actually working the case.
Patricia Powers.
So a case review would be an important aspect to initial work in a case. After the case is developed, and a prosecutor, for example, is learning potentially what some of the defenses in the case might be, it's again great to draw from the expertise of other professionals who can help explain from their point of view the meaning and significance of the evidence. Sometimes after a case has been concluded, it's also very good to look back at the case and to determine what was successful about the work that was undertaken and what work can be improved upon.
Kim Day.
Often case review can be a cause of disagreement amongst the SART team. We have to all understand that the purpose of the review is not to blame an individual department or even an individual person. We have to understand that what we're trying to do is make a change to the system so that we can impact the care given to victims.
A quote appears. What brings members of a team together is the commitment to serve the survivor, to serve the victim. Patricia Powers. Find out more at www.nsvrc.org/SART Toolkit. Special thanks to Kim Day and Patricia Powers. Copyright National Sexual Violence Resource Center 2018. All rights reserved. This video was produced by Dash and Thompson under grant number 2015 VFGX K003, awarded by the Office for Victims of Crime, Office of Justice Programs, U.S. Department of Justice. The opinions, findings, and conclusions or recommendations expressed in this video are those of the contributors and do not necessarily represent the official position or policies of the U.S. Department of Justice.